You hear me good? Audio's good?
Yeah,
All right, ready to do this shit?
let's go.
All right, welcome to another episode of the Grinds My Gear podcast. I'm Ashton, and before we get started, I want to just say one thing. Please like and share the channel so I can grow this thing, even though the government doesn't want me to grow. Uh, with me today, I got a good old friend. I've known you for quite a bit of time. Kevin, man, I call him Hansy Manzy, right?
I
But
like that. That's a good nickname.
You like it, do you? Yeah. Uh, I wanted to get you on today to talk about something. We'll get to in a second, but first, for people who don't know, Kevin owns Niagara BJJ, really big club out in obviously Niagara. If it was somewhere else, that'd be weird if you named it that. But uh, yeah, how did you come to kind of become a club owner? Because it's like, as one myself, it's not the easiest thing in the world. It seems like you're like, when you start doing jiu-jitsu, it's like, yeah, one day I should own my own place. And as we both know, most gyms fail very quickly. So you've obviously done really well and had a lot of success. So how did that come about, and how's the journey been to get you guys to where you have been so far?
Yeah, man, I a lot of luck and a lot of goodwill. I was very fortunate. My first location in Niagara Falls, I opened in 2015. My physiotherapist is like, "Hey, I got a space. I'll give it to you for free. You just got to do some little work in the basement there." And yeah, and we kind of started there, and Um, I started there and we were, 40, 50 students after a couple of years. It wasn't really growing. We had like a gated parking lot and um, it was hard to find. We didn't even have a sign and we got up to like 40, 50 members. It was pretty good. It was like sheer luck. Like I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
Like no idea. Like the
No.
original plan was my original partner. He was like the MMA guy and he was going to run. I was just like the guy with the money. I had a little bit of money from when I retired from the army. So I didn't have to go into debt to start. And then all of a sudden, one day I found myself on my own. I'm like, oh man, Reggie, I need some help. Yeah. I need some
Well,
help, buddy.
nobody, correct me if I'm wrong, but nobody really knows what they're doing when they start a jiu-jitsu gym.
No,
Uh, you,
no.
you think you do, because everyone thinks it's all about jiu-jitsu. Like, all I gotta do is show up and teach jiu-jitsu, and that's not the frigging case.
You have to be an HR manager. You have to be the public relations officer. You have to be a psychiatrist, psychologist. You got to be a child and youth worker. Like people don't realize how many hats you wear as the owner of a gym.
Yeah, yeah,
It,
and like, that was one of the biggest wake-up calls to me. Is it was not about me anymore, right? Like, when you're an athlete and you're just kind of like, you wake up every day, you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna go train today and do what you simply, you can't do that anymore. One of the biggest adjustments I had to make is I had to figure out how I could do my own training separately, because I was at this very start, as I was growing. I was trying to work out with my guys,
yeah,
right? I was like, oh, no, it's fine. I'll train tonight, and I'll train tonight with them. And two things happened. One, I realized some days I had to actually freaking sit and teach, so I couldn't actually roll. And then two is the days where I was trying to be a little selfish and be like, oh, we'll do extra rolling. I wasn't teaching that well, right? So in order for me to put the real coaching hat on and make a really strong academy, I had to say, you know what? When I go in to teach in the evenings or whatever, I'm not training, right?
yeah.
Occasionally, I'll hop in and roll if that's the vibe warrants that. But my job is to teach and coach, and I think that's the separation most people have an issue with when they start. Is they want to just roll with their students.
Being a 50 plus guy,
Yeah,
trying to roll like four times, five times a week. And like you're the black belt, right? Everybody wants to roll with you. You're the gym owner, you're the guy, and being a competitor, everybody's like, oh, I want to roll with Kevin. Like he still competes, he does all this stuff. But I'm like, some days I'm just like, no, I'm not 25 anymore. Like my body says no. My mind says yes, but my body
Yeah.
says no. And you
And
have to listen to your body. That's the most important part.
now, before I get into the bullshit I wanted to talk to you about, uh, there, like you just said, you're still competing actively, right? And I listen to a lot of different podcasts, listen to a lot of different people. When it comes to running the gym, I forgot which podcast this was, but they were talking about you have to have. There's three hats when you own a gym, right? The technician, which everybody wants to be, meaning like you're constantly studying technique. You're constantly trying to make your technique and your students better. There's the business hat, meaning the HR, the marketing, the day to day operations, and then there's the competitor hat. Now, most people can only wear two, right? And if you're trying to wear all three, you're probably going to fuck your business up. Somewhere else is going to be deficient. As a competitor still, now you're not like super gung ho going to every single IBJJF and all that, but how do you feel like you wear those hats? Like, what is the competitor side kind of just more for recreation and fun, or is that's something you kind of want to take seriously? Like, how you wear
I
those hats?
I've always been a competitive person. Like I couldn't play men's beer league baseball because it wasn't competitive enough for me. Because the guys just want to drink beer. I'm like, no, I want to freaking win, man. Let's go. Like I'm not here to have fun. I want to win games. Like so, I'm like, and in the army, right? Like my motto in the military was always like competition yields excellence.
Yeah,
So yes, competing does take its toll. It takes its toll on your finances. Just this year it's been very quiet. I've only competed in Boston and Orlando this year. Because I was building a new house. So, you know, um money's a little tight, but it competing if like I have a really great support system here with my black belts. Like I have 23 black belts already. In 10 years of being open, I have 23 black belts. We've had a lot of guys that came from other gyms that were purple belts and brown belts. Like Scott runs all the like I got to give credit to that guy, man. He teaches four times a week. He has a family. He's got a job, a full-time job, and he still manages to run the Niagara Falls location. He's got help. He's got some front desk help. Christine's great, but and Dylan's there. And everybody fills in for everybody, covers everybody. So when I'm competing, my guys step up and they cover my classes, and it's amazing. Like you know what I mean? Like I got a lot of support. The guys love to see you go compete, and I went on a really good long run. I did 11 tournaments over the last year. Like last year, I did 11 tournaments, and it was crazy. Like I was on the road. It seemed like every weekend I had, and then coaching. So you're coaching your own students in the local tournaments. But I did 11 tournaments, and 9 of those were IBJJF tournaments. So
nice.
yeah, but I
And
mean, competing's my jam. Like if you don't have to, like that's the thing people don't understand. You don't have to be a competitive gym. If your students don't compete, that's fine. Like really, literally, it's mostly kids that compete at my gym, and maybe 20 adults that compete here and there.
yeah,
Right?
and that's the trajectory jiu-jitsu is going in because sport jiu-jitsu, as you know, I'm huge on self-defense, and I'm an MMA guy by heart, but my jiu-jitsu bases on striking. Jiu-jitsu has striking in it, which is very um, uncommon to see. And I think that the schools that are pushing competitive don't really see it doesn't have to be that way, right?
The practical side
Yeah,
of
like
jujitsu.
it's part of my, I would say, my sales pitch is when I'm talking to somebody who comes in for a trial class. The first thing I ask them is, are you trying to be competitive? And I get and most of the time they say no. If it's a younger teen, they say yeah, and then some of the more middle-aged people say maybe, right? The reason I ask that is because I actually grade a whole lot differently for somebody who says they want to compete compared to someone who says they simply just want to be here, learn the martial art, and get exercise and do something new. people who compete, I'm incredibly harder on them when I grade, because I'm not looking at your skills simply about mat time and if you're got technique down. I'm looking at how are you comparing to the competitive blue belts? How are you comparing to the
Yes.
competitive purple belts? How are you comparing to the competitive brown belts? Because that's my responsibility to make sure that you can go in there and compete with them at a good level and not get hurt. Right. The biggest disservice I've seen as an owner now, and as you know, I'm not going to talk shit, but fuck it, it's my podcast. I'll talk shit. But
Love it.
uh, you can guess from conjecture of my location, other clubs around me, and I have at least I think 3 or 4 um, jiu-jitsu guys around me. Right? I don't view them as competition because I do something completely different. They probably view me as competition because they're insecure about their business, but I don't view them as competition. And the reason being is because as we've grown, we've had students come from those gyms, right? And the level of the jiu-jitsu that they're bringing in is very poor, comparatively speaking.
Yeah.
And it's not to criticize other people, but it's like, me and you came up in the same system. It was kind of hard to get a belt.
Oh
It was,
yeah.
it was very hard to get a belt, right? I had to work my ass off for every belt. It wasn't earned. It wasn't time based. And it was like, for example, you know, to get my purple belt, it was really, really hard because that was when I started doing MMA. So everyone held me to that standard. Like, if you're going to be this MMA fighter, and back then it wasn't as big of a sport as it is now and not accessible. So basically, all our professors said to me was, if you have good jiu-jitsu, it'll get you out of a lot of MMA situations.
Oh, 100%.
And
100%.
and so the demand on good jiu-jitsu was high. So the standard of blue and purple and brown belts, I would say 10 years ago, was a lot higher than it is now. And I see that from kids coming in, right? Um, gray belts. I don't hand out gray belts. I started doing intermediate belts between white and gray.
Same here. I stole that from you guys. I stole that
Yeah.
from you and Omar. I'm like, man, like I got like, I'm not going to give a 5 and 6 year old a gray white belt. I'm not going to give them a gray belt. They're 5 and 6 years old. They've done our little ninjas program. It's a half hour, 2 times a week. You know what I mean? So I do
Yeah.
the same thing. I give them a little intermediate belt. I won't give any kids under the age of 7 a gray belt. I wait and I push it off. I've just recently started that. And like I said, I stole it from you guys. It's a great idea. And that's the thing too in the jiu-jitsu community. Like, I like sharing ideas with, I don't care what affiliation you are.
Yeah.
We're all buddies. We all know each other. We all have great laughs at tournaments. Our kids compete against each other. Our adults compete against each other. There's no hard feelings when I lose to someone from Carlton Gracie, or if I lose to someone from Toronto BJJ. I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hold it. We're all buddies. It's a sport. We have fun. But just I'm just gonna circle back to what you're saying about your sales pitch, and you sell, like, more of the self defense. I I typically I typically sell jujitsu as a lifestyle. Like,
Yeah.
so when people come in, I'm like, look, like, I'm a competitor. A couple guys here compete. Lots of my kids compete because I think for the kids it's really good to compete because it breaks down a lot of barriers for them, builds some
100.
confidence. But I just literally sell jujitsu as, hey, come join our family. Come hang out with us. We have fun. We go train hard, and then we go drink beer. Like, that's what I tell people. Like, that's
Yeah.
my life, right? Like, I'm a military guy. You train and then you drink beer. And it's
Yeah.
the same in jiu-jitsu. You train and then you go have a couple beers with your buddies, right?
And the like the putting in those intermediate belts, the test was actually my daughter, right? And God bless her, she's gonna be a guinea pig for a lot of shit. But
My kids were too.
yeah, the because and I remember she did really well in her first 2 tournaments, did really good because she was in that smaller age bracket. But then when they get bumped up to another age bracket, they end up being at the bottom of the cohort, basically. Because if it's a 2 year gap in between, like 6, 7, they're the small 6 year old, and then there's the big 7 year olds. So she went through a very hard spell of losing,
Yep.
right? Like 3 or 4 tournaments in a row, losing. And as a dad, like this is where I had to learn how to coach a little bit better because I was getting mad at her because
Everything you're saying, I've been through, man.
because her in the gym, she's a savage. She's beating the shit out of everybody. But then when she gets into a competition, she was freezing up. You know, she's a kid, so like like some of the bigger tournaments are like in Oshawa, and the Oshawa Generals place. So you got all the lights, and she's looking
Yeah.
up, and this chick's about to take her down. She's looking up and seeing all the lights, and she was having a lot of competition anxiety, performance anxiety, and one day I was so frustrated. I that's when I called Omar, and I was like, she's been. I had her since 4 years old training, right? And she's
Yeah.
been training for over 3 years in the gym. She's showing all the criteria of a gray belt, but in competition, she's showing like she's just started, right? And I'm like, as her dad, I don't want her to get discouraged and be like, "Oh, I'm losing. I'm going to stop doing this now." And well, she doesn't have a choice, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Uh, and then also too, I don't want to give her the responsibility of a gray belt and then have to go against because gray belt's a 3-tier thing for kids.
Yeah.
So you have kids that have been training for close to maybe 5 years that are still at gray belt, right? They're gray black and the way it goes. So I intermediate belter. I did it twice, right? I have 3 that I do here.
Yeah.
Um, I intermediate belt her twice. And when she was ready this year, I promoted her, and now she's finally found her stride and she's killing it.
Yeah.
And I think if I had given her that belt, and it's like Faraz said in his podcast with Joe Rogan, that you give the responsibility of the belt to somebody who's not ready for it, they're just gonna hate jiu-jitsu. They're going to
Yep.
not want to compete anymore. And then what's the harm in keeping them at white belt? But what I'm seeing from other clubs, I got a lot of kids that come in here and they're wearing gray belts, right? Like solid gray. So I'm like, fuck, okay, you've been training for a while. My first thing is, Aria, go get them. That's my daughter. Go get them, right? And
Yeah.
she'll throw like 10-year-old boys around. She's only 7. She only turned 7 in February, so she's not like really like grown into 7 yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who the fuck is giving you this shit?
Bro,
Right?
I've had kids come to my gym that are wearing like I have to be careful what I say.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like I've had kids come into my gym from another established gym and they don't know how to shrimp. They don't know how to shrimp,
Yeah.
man. And they're gray and black belts. Or I had kids come in that never rolled and they were wearing yellow belts.
Yep.
They don't roll. And I'm like, what? Like I've had kids come in with 30 stripes on their belt, like literally every color in the rainbow. And I asked the kid, I'm like, what's this one for? He's like, eating healthy. I'm like, okay, I get it, but like you can't shrimp or do anything, and you've trained jujitsu for over a year, and,
Yeah.
and 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 competition and rolling is not everything. But like, the hardest thing is you got kids who are just absolute. I have kids who are absolute. I have a 14-year-old boy. He turns 15 in December, and the kid's absolute savage. He's been training for 7 years. The kid, we have one of those grip strength things.
Yeah.
The kid's 14 and his grip strength is better than mine. And I'm a grizzled construction worker. And this kid's squeezing 140 almost on this grip strength thing.
Yeah.
Like
I have a, I have
how
a
are you
Ukrainian just like that.
going to beat that kid? That kid comes in day one, he's beating up blue belts.
Yeah.
Like just because he's so like belts are important. Don't get me wrong. Belts is an acknowledgement of your time and your effort and your knowledge. But rolling, I mean,
You need to do it.
yeah, you have to roll. And if you're not good at rolling and you get beat up by like, man, like I try to hold people back, but sometimes the emotion gets, like, oh, this guy's been with me forever. Like I gotta promote him because like how long do I keep this person back? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And one of the things that's popping up in my place, and like I said, I got to be, like you said, I got to be careful what I say now because depending who listen on this. But as I'm growing, I'm getting more color belts coming in, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things I'm very adamant on, because I've seen politics at so many places, I had to do a lot of cross training because MMA, there wasn't MMA gyms, and
No,
honestly,
yeah.
and still, really, right now they're dying. Right, they're a dying breed. Most people are specializing in doing one or the other. The reason of a lot of our success is because we do everything under one banner, and I do it really well. But I've seen a lot of different gyms and the politics that go on in the gyms, right? And basically, it boils down to people talking shit, right?
Mhm.
When egos get the best of people, people talking shit, jealousy, all that kind of stuff. And I'm having some new belts that are colored coming in to my academy, and people are asking me, "Hey, professor, what do you think of this person? What do you think of this person?" And I can't say what I really mean because they're my students now, so I have to be positive, right?
Mhm.
But
Yep.
I what I say is to them is now you see why I grade the way I grade.
Yeah.
Right? Now you
Listen, you come from, like I said, those gradings we used to do back in the day at Modern Vision were in like, man, those were tough. Like you got like I remember just going home after and like I need to go lay down on the floor for 4 hours because I'm just dead. You know,
yeah.
like you know, and we try to do that. We try to keep that spirit. Like I remember my brown belt grading at Gringos. I lost like 6 pounds of like I was standing there at the end in a puddle of
Yeah.
sweat. And it was like 45 minutes warm up rolling, then like an hour Shark Tank where like every 5 minutes someone new comes in, beats the crap out of you. And then at the end, he's like, I think we're done. And he's like, okay, so you guys going for your brown belts, you guys go in the middle. You got to start from standing. And for 15 minutes, every 3 minutes, a brown and black belt came in and beat the crap out of you.
My blue belt test, I remember Omar gave me. I had about 20 people,
Yeah.
and it was because oh, you're this, you want to do MMA? Well, here you go.
Yeah.
If you can go through this, then yeah, then you can fight. Maybe,
Yeah.
right?
I know that's the thing. Like I had to live with guys like Xavier Nash and Matt DeCenzo and Erica Tard. And these guys are pro fighters. And I'm just some like 37-year-old dad. Like, just getting I hate Matt DeCenzo to this day. I hope you're listening, Matt. I'm just kidding. I
No,
talk to him all the time. So yeah.
yeah, he just got his first degree at my place here a
Yeah.
few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
It's awesome.
he's a great guy. Now let's get into the bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, dude. Great,
fuck.
crazy story of my life.
I know. We had to get there because and it's just kind of coincidence I fell into this because I don't watch CBC. I don't give
Who
them any.
does?
I, apparently, some people do, but I don't watch CBC. But I was on YouTube and shit, and because that's one of my favorite things to do. I'm just a YouTube guy. My wife hates it. She's like, oh, not YouTube again. I'm like, fuck it. I'll go from funny people getting killed to freaking funny videos to jujitsu videos, shit
Yeah,
like that.
monkeys sticking fingers up people's butts and stuff.
Yeah,
That's my favorite.
I just she's like, this makes no sense. Just watch a show. I'm like, no, right? My attention span. Oh no, I want to go from monkeys to fucking jujitsu. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was just scrolling and I saw the far right extremist preparing for battle. Some shit with the title. And I don't want to actually quote the title to give people a reason to go watch it because I
Yeah.
don't want them to watch it. But it is out there. And what the video boils down to, and I'll be very clear, I'm not supportive of these groups of people. Um, I am a traditionally conservative Christian guy, but at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck what you believe in or how you vote, as long as you're a good person and you don't push your ideals on me or my family, and you kind of do your thing, I do my thing, and we coexist and are friendly. I'm okay with that. To me, that's what democracy is. But we don't really live in a democracy. We live in a dictatorship right now. But that's besides the point. But that's how I traditionally am. So I don't support one side or the other. I think both sides are pieces of shit. I have my values, and that's what it is. Now, there are people who are super far right, meaning they have extremist views, and then there's people who are super far left, meaning they have extremist views on the other side. This video was intentionally trying to promote the fact that people who are far right and have extremist far right views are martial artists and jiu-jitsu guys, and they're in the jiu-jitsu community, they're in the martial arts community. It's corrupt. The community is corrupt with this, and it's a national security threat, and we need to start paying attention to it and, for better words, exterminate. And why that bothers me is because what happened to you could easily have happened to me, right? It could have easily happened to, they targeted me and my business. And I'm not okay with that. As a fellow martial artist, fellow business owner, we're all just trying to make ends meet, doing the things we love to do. So when an organization like the CBC, who goes unchecked, because this is an unchecked story, and they did publish false things about your academy and things that were going on without verifying the story, simply to put it out there and push that narrative. So what it was they said these far right groups are training in these BJJ and MMA gyms. They're preparing for, global civil conflict
A
that's
race war.
yeah,
That's what they said, a race war.
race war that's inevitable, and they're sparring in parks, and there's videos and photos of them sparring in these gyms, your gym and some other gym in Hamilton. And what really bugged me is they didn't need to use the name of the gym. They could have just said the gym, a gym. They purposely showed video of your gym's front banner. Um, they purposely used the name. They purposely used photos of the inside of your gym, and the repercussions, are there because people like you, like I messaged you right away when I saw it, and people were messaging you negative reviews, talking shit, and the one thing the media won't do is tell your side of the story and what really happened, right? They're going to put that out there, and that's going to be the end. And I figure, you know what, I'm not CBC view worthy yet. I don't have, even though they don't have fucking views, I'll get there. But I'm not that big, but at least we can put out there the real truth, and so people can really see what's going on and make sure that our community, jiu-jitsu community and martial arts community, doesn't get affected by this. So, um, you know, give me your side of what happened and what the real truth behind that video and those accusations and all that.
And for sure, and look, like I'm not here to I first off, I hate the CBC as well. Like I think the CBC is a joke. Like there's nothing good on the CBC. I don't care what anybody says. Their news is crap, their shows are crap, whatever. Okay. And I understand this reporter has a job to do, and that's great. And he was sniffing around these second sons of Canada who are, to me, and this is what, he's sniffing around this group and Diagolon and all these things that are supposed to be far right extremists and all this stuff. And I get it, it is a worry, but there's groups on all sides that are have ideologies that don't match with Canada. Okay. But it seems like the CBC is more interested in painting. Like originally, they were thinking that I was part of this group, and wouldn't I be the great target? The
Yeah,
6'1", blonde hair, blue eyed, ex-military, um, world champion in jiu-jitsu, um, athlete of the year in my local town. Wouldn't I be a great target to just, this is what the news media does, just rip me down and find some little piece of dirt on me to rip me down and tear me down, because that's what people love nowadays. They don't like the hero story, they like the villain story,
yeah,
right? So um back in May, I have a guy who uses my gym on Friday nights. He literally teaches a bunch of dads, like they do fitness and they do some striking and grappling. It's They don't pay anything. They're just a bunch of dads from like their kids come to the gym and
Yeah.
local dads. So this group, the Second Sons, showed up one night and trained. It's not like they showed up and said, "Hey, we're a bunch of white supremacists. Can we train with you?"
Yeah.
Like on their website, if you look at their website, it doesn't mention white supremacy. It sounds to me, and this is what I, you know, I want to make sure I don't say anything that I shouldn't say. But
Yeah.
so what happened was the CBC went and interviewed a gym in Hamilton. They asked him if I was part of this group, if I was training these guys, if I was a white supremacist, white nationalist, whatever. Furthest thing from the truth. Okay. I have an Asian girlfriend. All right. Like, I can't be a very good white supremacist if I have an Asian girlfriend. You know? So then they went to my gym in Dunville and started accosting and recording and asking my partner, business partner there, questions about me and questions about this group of guys because they thought that was the gym they trained at.
Yeah.
So my partner calls me, the guy from Hamilton calls me. They're like, "Kev, like this is crazy." I'm like, "I've never heard of these guys before." So I do a little research and I'm really perturbed because, like I said, I hate the CBC. I don't want to give them an interview. I'm not going to give them an interview. So I'm like reluctantly and against my better judgment, I should have known better, but I was like in rage mode. I was in rage mode. So I call this clown from the CBC and I'm like, "Hey, bro," I'm like, "I don't know what your deal is. Here's what happened. These dudes showed up my gym one night. They took a picture. They trained. They took a picture with their flag. That was back in May. It's now June or July or whatever. I don't know who these guys are. I've done a little research on them now through the internet.
Yeah.
And they seem to me like they're very disgruntled ex-military guys. They're afraid of what's happening in Canada, which legitimately, like I'm not sympathizing with them, but
No.
you got to admit, like there's a lot of people that are worried about the future of Canada.
Oh fuck yeah! Come to Toronto. I mean India, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
But I mean, I live in a pretty waspy, like I live in a pretty white city. Okay,
Yes.
Wellington's pretty white.
Oh,
Okay,
it's the whitest fucking place ever. When
bro.
when I first went to Welland, right? Amir brought me like an Armenian guy and a brown guy and Paulo. I don't what's Paulo. Paulo's like some sort of fucking type of Spanish. Like they brought me there, and then you have this bald white guy, Chris,
Yeah,
and I'm like, dude, why don't you guys bring me to the KKK gym?
yeah,
Right, right. It's
yeah.
and obviously he's still one of my best friends, so he's not a white supremacist, and
No,
he's one of my best friends. We talk all the time, so yeah, it's a white place. Put it that way.
yeah, and that's like Arthur joked too because Arthur came to Niagara Falls and he's like, "Dude, where's all the brown guys?" I'm like, "It's at the time in 2016,
Yeah,
Niagara, our Niagara Falls location is very diverse compared to Welland."
yeah,
Okay. Like, and I'm not just saying that because the CBC is trying to say that there's a bunch of white supremacists in jiu-jitsu. And that's the thing about jiu-jitsu. We are so pluralistic in jiu-jitsu. Like I go to the States and I compete against people from all over the world, all kinds of different backgrounds. And it's always mutual respect. High
yeah.
five, knuckles, hugs after we exchange Instagram, we talk, we shoot the breeze. Man, like jiu-jitsu is not full of a bunch of racists. Is there racists in jiu-jitsu? Yes. I guarantee you there is.
Yeah.
But in any in the military, you have the military is just a section of Canada. There's going to be bigots. There's going to be anti-Semitic people in the military. I've run into anti-Semitic people in the military. Kids born in Jordan talking about how they hate the Jews. And it's literally, I'm staring at this guy like, "You're in the Canadian Armed Forces. You can't speak like this." You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just before I go crazy here, but just getting back. So basically, I told the CBC reporter, I don't know who these guys are. They seem to me that they're very disgruntled. I said they use military slogans and symbols, which is fucking ridiculous. You know, like you shouldn't be dragging the Canadian Armed Forces into your whatever it is you got going on. And I said, if, and this is what the CBC does, they leave out keywords. I said, if these guys are racist, they're scum, because there's no need for racism. It's so insane that you hate. I judge everybody on their individual character, and that's what every decent person I know judges people on their individual character. Are there stereotypes for every race?
Oh, 100%. That's why my gym is so successful, because we're not racist, but we tell jokes. Right? We tell a lot of fucking jokes. And I have a very, because of my location, I have a very diverse group in terms of um, socioeconomic status and then employment. I'm in Leaside, and I border this place called Thorncliffe Park. Thorncliffe Park is where a lot of immigrants come. They have a lot of immigrant housing, and then I have Leaside, which is a $200,000 plus income area. So I have doctors. I have
Yep.
also I have a doctor here who I didn't do the full story with him because it's none of my business. But basically, he came up to me about 2 weeks ago and said, he's been going through a rough time professionally over the last few weeks, and it was this place that saved him, like that made him sane, because he can come here, he can be normal. Because when you're in that professional doctor realm, he's an Asian guy, so you can't make Asian joke, right? We make Asian joke, right?
Oh no.
Right, and it's just like somewhere where you can. It's not a racist joke. We're just having fun.
Yeah.
Stereotypes are different from racism,
So
right?
a
And
couple
so go
a
ahead,
couple
go.
years ago, I made it. What I thought was a funny joke, man. Like a black guy came in the gym, and he's like, oh, like, have you had any serious injuries? I'm like, yeah, man. Like, one time I tore my groin, and my dick and balls turned black, and I didn't get any of the benefits. And I thought it was a fucking funny joke,
That was a good
and
job.
he didn't laugh, so I repeated it. And he looks at his buddy, and he's like, man, this guy's so racist. He said it twice. I'm like, oh man, I totally mishandled that one.
Yeah,
But like, I thought that was like a great joke. I'm like, man, that's a complimentary joke. Like, that's the stereotype, right?
I'm gonna use that on my buddy now because one of my good buddies is black, so I'm gonna use that. But
But like, the thing is, right? This story, like, the problem is the way the story was presented. Okay, I refused to give an interview with the CBC. I told the CBC, don't use my name, don't use my business. I'm like, I don't want the heat. I don't want to be in the spotlight. I like to really kind of keep to myself when it comes to these things, even though I'm really loud on social media and all that stuff. But
yeah,
my business is my business,
yeah,
right? Like, keep my business out of this. So immediately, as soon as the story was released and they released my name, I'm like, here it comes. So I get messages on Instagram from these white supremacists calling me a CBC cuck, a race traitor,
oh my
a
gosh.
race mixer, telling me that I hate my own people. I hate white people. I mean, I hate almost everybody, but
See, that was a joke, people. Right? He's not a racist. That was a fucking joke. All right, let's put that disclaimer in there before
yes,
they
yes,
put the clip. They'll cut this and be like, "See, he said he ate."
he
Me
hates
neither.
everybody.
Yeah, I love white people too. That's why I married one.
Yeah, like,
I wanted to mix my race so bad.
yeah, man. We're all gonna have a little bit of a, like, in 100 years, there won't be many. Everybody's gonna have a darker complexion. It's
Yeah,
just the way it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, but the thing was with the article is that, like, I knew the crazy right wingers were gonna come out, and
yeah,
I knew the crazy left wingers were they weren't gonna threaten me but on Reddit, guys are like, I know Kevin Mans, he's a convoy supporter and an F Trudeau guy, so it's not a far stretch that he's a racist. It's like, really? Because I sympathize with a bunch of truckers whose jobs were at stake?
yeah.
Do
But
I agree?
what's a convoy supporter? Like, what does that mean?
Exactly. Like,
That-
listen, I'm not a far right guy. I'm not a right winger. I'm a very classic liberal guy. Like, like, man, it's so ridiculous how everybody has to, you're either right or left. That's
Yeah,
not true. I am right down the middle. Like, man, I was in the military. I used to be a warmonger when I was in the military. I'm like, yeah, let's bomb these guys back into the Stone Ages, right? But now that I'm older, I'm like, man, let's just leave people alone.
yeah.
Let's just, can we not just do jujitsu, drink beer, and hang out? And, this world has gone freaking crazy. And it's like Trump. I don't hate Trump, but I don't love Trump, but I
Same.
don't hate Trump. I think Trump
But
does some stuff.
but if you say that, then you're a fucking. If you're like, I don't hate him. Like I have a very liberal family, and they're not actually liberal because they'll have there'll be a policy and they'll be like, that's a stupid policy. I'm like, well, why the fuck do you vote for them then, right? But I was at a family gathering a few weeks ago, and the word you could just be talking about the card game Trump. You don't
Yeah.
even have to be talking about the guy, and it's a fucking trigger. People look, Trump, not Trump, Trump. What? No, they have done a very good job at polarizing political sides to basically make whenever you hear a word, whenever you hear something related to it, it makes you emotional, angry
Yeah.
because the narrative is painted it that way. One of the things I refuse to do, and I don't know if you noticed this, but it's more in the city because the channels here. You'll go into any office. So you go to a dental office for an appointment. You go to your mechanic to get your car fixed. They'll put on CP24. I call it constant propaganda
Yeah.
24. Right.
It used
And
to be a great city TV used to be great.
yeah, it used to be a good channel, but you're having this stuff constantly on in these major cities, and people are reading it, and subconsciously they sort of believe it because it's constantly just in their face, in their face, in their face. And let's face the facts: people are going through their day to day life. Like, you're worried about how you're gonna eat your next meal and how you're gonna earn to keep the roof over your head in this ridiculous economy, and you're not sitting there googling facts. You're not sitting there trying to figure what, let me get down to the bottom of
Yeah.
this world issue. You're just going to be reliant on the media to be honest and to be neutral and to present you the facts and the story, and it's not happening anymore. My eyes really opened around 2018, 2019, and then obviously during the pandemic, everything kind of really opened. That everyone's on all sides are lying,
Yeah.
right? Everyone on all sides are lying. It's a game to see who can stay in power, and it's all about money and power.
Yeah.
And these global conflicts that we're having are not real conflicts. It's not, hey, I want to kill you so bad because I hate you. It's, you know, if there's not an active war going on, no one's making money.
No,
Right?
and that's the problem nowadays. Is like people don't understand. Like there's truth in the middle. There's truth in the middle, and people don't seem to see the truth in the middle. Like I like to razz people. Like I like to get people riled up on Facebook because like this whole elbows up thing. It's like, oh my God, you literally think this guy. Okay, who caused the crash in 2008? Who caused
Yep.
the crash? Bankers.
Yep.
Bankers. And all of a sudden we forget, and now we have a banker in charge of our country.
And the
Bankers
funny
were
thing is, the
evil.
liberals made the movies about it. They made the
I
movies about the crash.
I know. And this motherfucker was right there. He's a banker. He's an international banker.
Yep.
His job is to make banks and corporations money, right? And I don't I'm not anti-corporation. I'm not. Like people think all corporations they don't deserve to make billions of dollars. Yes, they do
They
because
do.
who does all the research and development? If your company, why did Nortel die? Because they didn't have money to improve everything, and it was totally mishandled. The
Yeah.
company was totally mishandled, but a company needs money. It costs billions to do research, billions.
Yeah.
And those shareholders it's gambling. You're betting on a company You're betting on a company with your money, right? And people, all these like, it's ridiculous. It just bothers me that people are like, I get that Nike makes shoes in China and kids get paid little bits of money to make these shoes, but if you want to
Where else
pay
are you gonna get the shoe?
$1,000 for a pair of shoes,
Yeah, where else are you gonna get the shoe? Where the fuck are you
yeah,
gonna get? Right? I'm not paying $1,000 for the shoe.
yeah,
And well, let's circle back, and then we'll go off on a tangent after because I want to get the fuck right. But the story too, they had because I rewatched it this morning. Unfortunately, I get another fucking view just so I can be educated on this conversation because I'm not, contrary to popular belief, I'm not a giant moron. But the the guy they used in the story to talk, right? He had some gi in the background hanging on a fucking door. I don't know who the fuck he is, right? He was probably some karate fucking guy, right? And it's not like they went into the martial arts community and picked out a good coach or a high level guy to kind of give some transparency. One of the things they always do is they use a left winger or a left leaning person to enforce the view and enforce this stuff.
here,
And
my
go ahead.
thought is, and it is, here's the CBC's issue. Rob gave him an interview, which, man, it was pretty professional. He said all the right things in a professional manner. That's not my style. I gave the guy a quick phone call and blasted him and told him, like, swore, and that's me. I'm a fucking goon. Like, I'm not eloquent. Okay, I'll never be eloquent, and I don't want to be eloquent. I like Stone Cold Steve Austin's my hero, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather flip you the bird, right? Like, so the thing with the CBC is I wouldn't give them a proper interview. So they just ran the story. I was hoping if I didn't give them an interview, they would just leave me alone. But
Yeah.
that's my own fault. You know what I mean? And they're not going to interview. They're not going to interview other gym owners that have multicultural gyms. They're not gonna. They're not gonna. They're not gonna do the research on these gyms and actually see. And the thing is, they changed their tune a little bit. They're like, oh well, we're doing the stories focused on how gym owners don't know these guys are training in their gym. They're infiltrating the gyms and they don't know they're training in the gyms. And I'm like, that's fine, but I don't want to be part of your story.
Yeah.
I don't care. And they're like,
And
you should care. I'm like, I don't care. It doesn't affect me. I don't care.
and the thing is of the 100% of gyms, that's maybe 3%.
Yeah.
It's a very small amount. For the most part, you know everybody who's in your gym. When it comes to jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, and you're constantly punching and kicking each other and submitting each other. Sure, there's guys that I don't agree with their politics or their views or anything, but
Mhm.
I know who they are. And 90, I would say 99, because there's always a 1% dickhead, right?
Yeah.
99% of the time, they're all good people, right? We come here, we train, we're here to just self-improve, get better, pursue whatever goals we want, whether it be in the sport or physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever, and then go on with our day, right?
Yeah. And that's the thing, like on the mats, like Trump said, there's good people on both sides.
He quoted Trump. He's a white supremacist, right?
Right.
But
That's just to get the lefties riled up. But no,
yeah,
like here's the thing. When we're on the mats, we don't really talk politics. Okay. I have one of my black belts, he's super liberal, right? Him and I have the funniest conversation. I laugh. We laugh. Like he shoots me down, he knocks me down all the time. I just laugh. I love the guy. It's refreshing that he's not afraid to express his opinion to me, and I'm not afraid to express my opinion to him. But we don't hate each other, and we are diabolically opposed,
yeah.
like on a lot of things. And that's okay. I don't understand. We don't have to agree on everything, but you don't have to hate someone because you don't agree on something.
But that's how you get clicks, views, and you make Canada separate,
Yeah.
right? The hate towards these they like I say, this is why I had to stop watching news, and I stopped doing the podcast for a while two reasons. I had a new business and I had to get it up and running, and the focus had to be on making sure my kids and my family were in a good spot.
Yep.
And secondly, it turned into, because of when I started it. I started it during the start of the pandemic when I started realizing media was lying and things were kind of stupid. The world was fucking retarded. Um, I started interviewing a lot of politicians. Like I interviewed Melissa Lansman, Maxime Bernier.
She's, oh, I love her.
Do you?
I like her. I like Melissa Lantzman. She's cool,
She,
man.
she turned down a second interview with me.
Um,
I wasn't prepared for that one as much as I should have been, because the response, I was actually like in Blue Mountain just chilling and vacationing, and then they're like, "Oh, we can do it on Thursday," and this was like on Tuesday,
uh,
and I was like, "Fuck, okay, I'm driving back on Thursday, right?" So I wasn't as prepared for it as I wanted to be, but she lied to me a lot when I
uh,
went back and listened to it. Her character, I think, is questionable. And so she turned down a second one with me. I would like to talk to her again to put that to bed, because I want to give people, I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt.
yeah,
But like one of the things that I look back on and I wish I challenged more was, I asked her about the restrictions going on in Ontario and why they didn't speak out and why they were kind of just supporting it. Doug Ford is their buddy, or supposedly their buddy.
not
Quite
anymore.
not anymore, but he's viewed as a conservative, and he's doing all these anti-conservative movements during the lockdowns and different kind of things, restricting businesses, etc. And her response to me was basically, if he didn't do that, it would have just made them seem like they were irresponsible, and they didn't want to seem irresponsible. And so for them, it was about perception over values.
Yeah,
And I wish I'd pushed back on her more there, but I just, like I said, I wasn't as prepared for that as I should have been, and I think that there's more going on there than meets the eye,
yeah.
in terms of her, just
See,
because I've had a chance to talk to her, right?
see, the pandemic. Um, not to change the subject from Melissa Lantzman.
Yeah,
The thing with the pandemic is, again, I played it right down the middle. I tried to play it right down the middle. I didn't like, did I agree 100% with lockdowns? Fuck no. Okay. But when I reopened my gym, I sought out the advice of the Ministry of Health. I
yeah,
set up my gym. I was teaching classes when other gyms were closed because I actually did my research, sought out the advice of the director of the Ministry of Health, and had him write me a plan. So I would let people in my gym who weren't vaccinated, but they had to take a COVID test. And you know what? Everybody was fine with that. It wasn't get out of my gym, you're not vaccinated. I got vaccinated. Do I regret it? Yes, I fucking do. I wish
yeah,
I didn't. I wish I didn't get my kids vaccinated. But we did because I thought that was the right thing to do at the time.
yeah,
And to open my business and run my business, that's what I thought I had to do. So, but I didn't criticize people who got vaccinated. I didn't criticize people who weren't vaccinated. Hey, everybody has a choice in this country. We are supposed to be free and democratic. You have a choice. So, who am I to judge your medical decisions? Here's all I ask you to do: swab your nose, take a test, come in 15 minutes early, do your due diligence, and we train. And that's what we did. And I got along fine. I was fine. My business relatively stayed open as much as I could, and we were good to go.
yeah. I'm one of those assholes who didn't get vaccinated, right?
So,
You fucking asshole! You don't care about your grandma, Ashton. Well,
yeah,
guess what? She's already dead. So yeah,
yeah. Old
um,
people die. That's the
yeah,
thing people don't understand. Whether you die at fucking 88 or 90, okay? Listen, I don't want to be I don't want to have someone changing my diaper, okay? I am too proud of a guy. If I can't walk, I don't want to don't lay me in a fucking bed and let me get bed sores and just I'm going to book a skydiving trip and not pull the fucking chute. That's what
yeah,
I'm going to do because I'm going out hard and fast. I'm not fucking going out in a bed like a fucking wimp. Fuck
yeah.
that shit.
Well, and this goes back to what we were kind of talking about before. people make decisions, and it's their decisions to make, and it's not my decision to judge.
Yeah.
And one of the and I'm not trying to get sympathy or anything like that, but it was one of the hardest times that I in my adult life, during that pandemic, because very early on I was like, okay, we should take it a little seriously, because at the first start nobody really knows what's going on. You're
Yep.
kind of gathering information. um, and then at a certain point I said fuck it. At certain I'm like, I was still heavily invested into professional fighting at the time. And I'm like, you know what? If I get sick, I get sick. I got to train. I want to fight.
I got
Right?
COVID, and that's what changed my mind. Once I
Yeah.
got COVID, I'm like, oh, that was no worse than the flu.
That's exactly what happened to me. It was we got, the Delta deadly one, the one that's gonna kill you and make you fucking die. I got it. My wife got it. My kids didn't get shit, and they were breathing and sleeping in the same bed with us. I was shitty for one night, right? And that was about it. And so we got it. And then what really changed my mind was, at first, when the whole thing started, you could go and get an antibody test without a problem.
Yeah.
Um, you could just go to the clinic, pay the money, good to go. They changed the rule. You had to get a doctor requisition and then pay the money to get it done. So I was like, that's a little sketchy. Why do I need a doctor requisition if I'm paying money? This is an independent test. I'm paying
Yeah.
money. It's not OHIP. I'm paying money. So me and my wife decided, this was 4 or 5 months after we had COVID. So still in the thick of the lockdowns and bullshit. We're like, you know what? Let's investigate the truth for ourselves. So 4 or 5 months after, when you're supposed to be gone of all the antibodies and you're supposed to need your boosters and all that kind of crap, we went and did the COVID or the antibody test, and my levels were through the roof, and my wife's were even higher than mine. Right, 5 months after, right, and so that's when my wife and me were like, okay, that's it. Our decision is made. We never actually, both of us never ever contemplated doing it,
Yeah.
but that was the, I was like, okay, I'm good. And then I'm lucky where I have a decent doctor, where I called him and I'm like, I want your professional opinion on this. And he's like, well, I'm not an immunologist, but based on the levels that you and your wife have, it's not something I would recommend you do.
Yeah.
Right. And that was within the first year of all the bullshit happening. And so I just went on about my day and doing things. The thing that bugged me the most, and it still bugs me to this day, was when they started asking and telling people, you have to tell your vaccination status and you can't go to certain places
That sucked.
because, because of a vaccine. And that is when me and my wife felt like we were shunned from society. We're two law abiding citizens.
Yeah.
We pay our taxes. We work incredibly hard to provide and build our family. And at this point, we couldn't go to a restaurant. We couldn't eat. We couldn't socialize. We couldn't go anywhere. We couldn't technically go to gyms, but obviously gym owners are not that stupid, right? We couldn't go to the movies, right?
Yeah.
And some people are like, "Yo, just get a fake vaccine card," right? And I'm like, I'm not gonna fake it. This is the decision I made as a human, right? Respect it.
Yep.
I'm not putting anybody at health or anyone's health at risk, contrary to belief. And I still can't get it past today that people did that to me, and then they claim discrimination and racism, and people are being under represented. And I'm like, what happened when you did it to us because of something so stupid? Now you don't care about COVID.
Nope.
Now you don't care about it. But 3 years ago, you shunned people, good people, people that you know, people that do good things for you, people that have helped you because they made a decision. And we're going to, I can't forget it. I'm not
I
going to.
actually gained members. I had people come up to me and they're like, we joined your gym because you had no judgment.
Yeah.
Because you were right down the middle. And again, if people just went down the middle a lot more, I think we'd be a lot more happy as Canadians. If people would just cut it down the middle, guys. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
Now back to this bullshit.
yes.
What have been the repercussions um, from the negative publicity that the CBC has wrongly done to you?
So I had a, like I said, it's like the messages on Instagram, on like to my business page, to on my personal posts. Then there's the Reddit, people on Reddit trash talking me, saying that I'm a race, like basically the lefties calling me a racist and the righties calling me a race traitor. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? We got a couple bad reviews, but we got them deleted because Google, I'm surprised Google did, because the person posted a picture of my students saying these are the racists.
yeah,
And that's not cool because my students don't deserve that. My students had nothing to do with it. None of these guys were members of my gym. They were just a group of guys that, like, every gym has drop ins.
yes.
Every gym. You pay a drop in fee. I don't charge drop in fees, but hey, you pay 15, $20, you train for the night. Nobody talks. We don't do background checks on people. Do you think I do background checks on people? Okay, hold on. Before you 15 mongrels come in my gym, let me check your social media to make sure you're not a racist.
Yeah,
Right?
because
Like,
small businesses have that amount of
yeah,
manpower.
yeah. Like the only people who get background checks are my coaches.
Yeah,
Right? And the thing is, you're never going to stop people like that coming into your gym and going undetected. Like it's like anything. It's like a dude, man, bro, like everybody's had a guy arrested in their gym for something or a girl arrested in their gym for something,
yeah,
whether it be child porn or fucking sex assault. Or look at the Lloyd Irving guys. Look at what
yeah,
happened to his poor gym, man. He didn't have anything to do with that. It was his people, and you know what I mean. Like maybe he didn't
yeah,
handle it very well. When I don't know the whole story, so I'm not even gonna
yeah.
go there. But I shouldn't even have mentioned that guy. But because I mean, but everybody has part of society from all walks of life in their gym. Okay. I just had I have a lady, I'm pretty sure she's living in a shelter. She
Yeah.
sits out front of my Niagara Falls gym. She came into the gym Tuesday. She was blasted,
Yeah.
blasted. Okay. You could tell, but you could tell she was reaching out for help. So she came in and she's fumbling with her words. I'm like, can I help you? She's like, well, I don't really have any money right now, but like, I kind of want to train. I'm like, yeah, no problem. Just come in and train. Just come on Friday nights with the ladies. The ladies will help you out, but you got to be sober.
Yeah.
The lady wouldn't tell me her name. They wouldn't, you know what I mean? She's like, are you a cop? I'm like, no, I'm not a cop. I just want to know your name so I can interact with you properly. You know what I mean? Like, it was a weird situation, but like, you know what I mean? Who knows who this lady is? I'm trying to help this lady. I don't care what her background is. I want to help this lady. This lady obviously has trouble. Why wouldn't I want to reach out and help her? Maybe if a racist guy came in the gym and he started hanging out with some of my minority students, he might not like it
You might
might be
not
like
hate
the
her.
whole yeah,
Yeah.
the whole American History X thing. Get
Yeah.
friended by a black guy and you're not a racist anymore.
I one of the things I like. We both love jiu-jitsu. We both love martial arts. But one of the things that I always tell people, and people don't really see it because unless you get involved in it, you don't really get to experience this. Is it's the only place where the money, the jobs, the school status, your education, none of it matters.
Nope.
It's the only place. There's no other place like it. You can walk into a Good Life or a commercial like weightlifting gym. It matters because your money could get you into a different section, could get you special treatment, can get you all that. For me, it's if your membership dues are paid, everybody in this freaking place is as equal as they come,
Yep.
right? Um, it's the only place where I've seen it where you have doctors learning from high school students,
Yeah.
where you have, lawyers or business owners learning from doctors, and you can't even fathom. You're like, the other day I was just because I had a minor surgery with my meniscus 3 weeks ago.
Oh, I'm going through that right now. I can't
Yeah,
walk.
I got it fucking chopped off. This whole saga with the knee, I'm hoping this is the end of it. But
Yeah.
I'm I'm a savage, so I had the surgery, and I'm in the next day, right? And I'm sitting. I didn't teach, but I was sitting and just like making sure the business ran, and I didn't have anyone to close that day, so I was just like, "Fuck it, I'll come in and sit around." And it's weird because I'm always on the mats. It's fun to kind of sit and see what's happening.
Yeah.
And class finishes because normally I'll run class a little longer, but the guy that was covering class, he had to leave right after an hour, so class finishes, and so they're having open mat time, and it was really fun for me to watch. Um, it was one of my guys, one of my great teen competitors, uh, a doctor. She by trade. That's what she does. Ask him, show me this move, and I'm sitting there watching somebody who's super educated, has a great, you know, financial and economic background, and they're solid in their life and all that kind of stuff, learning from a high school student. And I'm just like, fuck, this is beautiful. This is wonderful. Right. And
That's
unless
the
you're
way
in,
it should be.
yeah. And unless you're involved in it, you never know because so many people from so many backgrounds. And then you realize like some people are just talented and they don't even know it. And then they get into a sport like jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai, and all of a sudden they become this secret expert. And then for the first time in your life, people are asking you for help,
Yeah.
right? And it becomes a place where you're like, okay, man, like I'm valued here. Like my skills and my knowledge is valued here. And then it gives you that sense of purpose. And then they go out into the real world and they realize, hey man, if I just apply the same work ethic I did
Yep.
in the gym to my career or to my education, it's going to be the exact same thing where people are going to start valuing my skills and my hard work, and they're going to see me for who I am as a person. And that's one of the fucking things I love. Like I didn't really get to see that when I was just the athlete. Now that I'm the club owner and I get to
Yeah.
sit back and I watch, it's fucking beautiful, man. Right?
Watching your people, like, it's funny, like one of my instructors had his birthday yesterday and a parent sent him a message. Happy birthday. Thank you for being such a good, positive influence on my son. And he messaged me and he screenshots. He's like, this is what it's all about. I'm like, you're fucking right. That's what it's
On the mic is still off. Oh, there you go. It's back now.
There you go. So, you know, it's all about being able to impart wisdom and impart your skill, your knowledge on other people. That's why I loved the army, because the army was all about training the next group of people coming up behind you and imparting your knowledge on other people, right? And
Yeah.
and like education and intelligence, two different things. Two different things. It doesn't matter. But like seeing the best part about coaching is seeing those kids succeed. Like we just came back from kids' pants. Two golds,
Yeah.
two silver, a bronze, right? These kids, the two kids that won barely smiled. Like, I was like, what? I was more excited than they were. Like I was so pumped for them. Like when my daughter won in 2020, I bawled my eyes out because I
Yeah.
was so proud of her accomplishments. Like I get more of a thrill of my students winning than me.
Yeah.
And that's the way it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to, your gym's not supposed to be about you, the owner. It's supposed to be about the community you've built, right?
Yes. And that's a changing thing though. That wasn't how it was before because um and I'm not critical of anybody. Run your business how you want to run your business, that's it. But one of the things when I made the jump to do this was I didn't want to put my name on the fucking window,
Yeah.
right? I didn't want to put my, like, you know how like people put their last name jiu-jitsu. um I felt like that would be saying that this is about me,
Yeah.
right? And when like people know I'm a huge Baltimore Ravens fan, I'm the dirty bird by trade, so the flock made sense, right? it fucking just
Oscar's loving it.
it made sense based on my nickname and all that kind of shit. But it doesn't. The name doesn't say Ashton. The name says this group of people.
Yes.
Right? And when I put that name together, it's like you're not fighting one of us. You're fighting all of us. When we come to compete, we come as a group. So it might just be one guy on the mat, but you're seeing a collective of the skills that we've honed in our gym and in our community. And when a story like the CBC publishes something like that on a gym that's doing that for people, right? Giving them this space and trying to purposely ruin it and label martial arts as this infiltrated sport by extremists. It's just sickening and it's a piece of shit move.
It is. And if you look, it's funny because if you look at the media recently, like ever since Jordan Peterson went on Joe Rogan,
yeah,
right? The media and look, guys like Sean Strickland, Jesus Christ, man, who puts a microphone? I know it sells, but my God, like I love it. It's funny. It's hilarious.
I love it. It's funny as shit. I love it.
But like, you're not giving us a good name, pal. You're not giving us a good name, right? People like Jake Shields denying the Holocaust. Like, bro, like, yes, but again, like they don't talk about Jeff Munson. Remember Jeff Munson? The guy was a total communist. He was like a total socialist, right? They don't talk about him. He's not right wing. He's left wing. They're again, like the media trying to portray martial arts and MMA as a bunch of redneck, uneducated fucking racists or right wingers. Maybe not just racist, maybe not racist, right wingers. We're not. We're normal fucking people. We're all normal people. And that's what the media is trying to drive a wedge. They don't like the media tends not to like strong male role models, right? Yeah. Where so many kids nowadays need positive male role models other than their father. Their father's working. Their father's there providing. Maybe, just maybe it's okay for guys like us to help. I'm going to say that with quotation, help raise the kids, right? But no, we're going to be a positive influence on those kids. They can look. It's okay for a child to look up to another man or another woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's nothing wrong with having positive role models that have a difference of opinion than the parents. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And it's a weird position because I didn't expect it because I'm a little bit of a goon, right? So I'm in the position where we have a huge teen base here, and you know, and like I said, I hate dealing with parents. I just want to do my job, right? I want to just teach jiu-jitsu. And I hate dealing with the politics of parents in the business.
Yeah, that's the toughest part.
That's the part. Yeah, it's not the student; it's the other stuff that goes on. But you know, parents are like, he looks up to you. Can you talk to him? And I want to all the time. I want to help, but also I want to realize that, I have kids of my own.
Yeah.
Too. And
we're at different points in our life. My kids are 18 and 20.
Yeah. My kids are 5 and 7. Right.
Yeah.
So I have kids of my own to raise. And so I'm not looking for more.
Yeah.
Right.
See, I love that role. I embrace that. When I was in the military, I embraced that. I want to take these young guys and I want to help them. I want to give them life advice.
And I do. You see the amount of teens I have competing and doing really, really well. And like I'm there for them. I'm giving them the advice, but then at the same time, I have kids of my own too. Two young kids that I need to father. And it's almost like I don't want to spend the time fathering other people's kids and then
I get it.
Right? Yeah. Because I'm trying to be the best dad I can be.
Yeah. And I think for me, I might have not spent as much time with my kids to help other kids, which is which is probably not a great thing. Like my life's a little different right now. My kids, my I don't live with my kids, but um, you know, it is it is yeah, you're right. Like I don't want to be a parent, but to be a role model to kids, I think is
Yeah,
important, especially those.
I have no problem being the role model. I just don't want to be the parent.
Yeah,
I don't like. I've been contacted by some parents saying, "Can you talk to my kid about going to school?" And I say no.
yeah,
And they're like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Because I don't think that that's the best choice."
yeah.
Right? Um, what do you mean?
Get a
It's like,
trade, boy.
yeah, it's the ongoing conversation. I'm seeing a lot of kids. I wouldn't say wasting their life, but you have 4 years. 4 years is a long fucking time, right? 4 years is a long
Get a
time
lot of
to
money.
yeah, a long time and money and giving it to institutions that really don't care about your education and what you want to be. And it's just because I've been there. Yeah, I'm university educated, but I can safely say now, if I can go back, I wouldn't have went to school.
My buddy always argues, well, so my best friend, love the guy. He pours concrete for a living. He has a biogenetics degree. And he's like, well, I went to university, so it taught me how to learn. And now I'm a supervisor at this company. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't need, like, I ran my own business for 25 years in construction. I didn't need to go to university. I didn't have any debt. I wasn't 35 years old paying off debt from university. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, if you're not, if you're not going to be an engineer, a doctor, I'm not a big fan of lawyers. They're a necessity, but if you're not going to go for like the stems and the major things, a gender studies degree is worthless. You're going to be
yeah,
making coffee at Starbucks. I'm sorry, but that's what's going to happen.
yeah.
The
So
400
sociology,
graduates
yeah,
from
sociology, marketing, even like
yeah
if you're not going like the idea the here's where I differ from the parents when they ask me, because like I said, I have a lot of teens, and so and I'll tell you what I'm doing with my kids right now is I don't value that anymore, because what I'm watching is I see all these people, especially people that I grew up with, they go through 4 years of school and then they don't even get a job in their field, right? They end up doing something else, and then they become 30 and they realize they find their passion, and then they
yeah
try to go and chase that passion at 30, and then they only start making a dent in it around 38, 39, then they're 40, and then by the time they're 50, then they're happy,
yeah,
right?
and you're broke.
And you're broke, and you're happy, and then you're thinking about retirement and pensions and all that kind of shit. Where I spent 4 years in school, and I know I wanted to fight, but nobody ever gave me the encouragement to just go after your dreams. Because guess what? School will always be there. You can always get education. It's not something that you have to do 18 to 21, and then if you don't do it in that timeline, you're fucked. That's not the truth. I think I wasted 4 years that I could have been pursuing my passions and finding myself, and doing something better. And I spent what 12 years being broke, right? Pursuing martial arts, broke as fuck. I think like I the most I made per week is like 100 to 200 bucks. So I was doing like side training, training people on the side, just trying to survive. All my extra cash went towards private lessons and all that. So I was at a point where I'm like, yo, what am I doing? But then I realized some of the best days I've ever had were the days where I was driving from practice to practice in my car, and it's like 1 o'clock, 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and I'm like, what are the regular people doing right now? Right? Yeah, they're making money. They're making more money than me, but they're sitting there hating whatever they're doing.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I'm going from practice. Yeah, I'm broke, but I'm fucking happy.
yeah,
Right? And then guess what? Opportunity knocks. Like I think I say luck is when preparation meets opportunity, right? So I prepared for 12 years. An opportunity, real estate opportunity came along, and I was like, you know what? This is the time, right? I'm a man of God, so I was like, God is speaking to me right now. Fucking do it, Ashton. Take the money, open up your business. And guess what? Now I'm the happiest I've ever been in my entire life, because I'm
yeah,
doing what I love to do. Even on the days where like you probably like this, you're fucking tired. you're just like, Jesus Christ, I don't want to fucking teach people.
I'm injured right now. I can't even walk, bro.
Yeah.
I can barely walk.
I've been
And
injured for a year and a half with this ACL and this and meniscus. I like,
yeah,
you know how hard it is to
yeah.
teach a jiu-jitsu class when I can't bend my
See,
knee.
I watched my dad. My dad framed houses for 40 years. He worked till he was 68 years old, right? And he worked 7 days a week. Okay. And yeah, he lived in he built himself some nice big houses and lived in like 3,000 square foot homes and big, he had a good life.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just built a house. It's ridiculous. I can talk about the housing crisis, but that's a whole other podcast. But my dad retired, and then what? So you retired, you have a little bit of money, but you've wasted your whole life working 7 days a week. I think I can count. I think he maybe went on 10 vacations. Like I think he went to Florida once, Myrtle Beach once, and he took a trip down to Georgia to look at some colonial posts that he wanted to buy for his one house, and a couple road trips to the East Coast, right? And maybe a cottage once. But like, man, I want to live life because I don't want to be 70 years old, look back and say, oh, I've never been here and I've never been there. And now I'm not working. So I don't really have the money. You know what I mean? So I'd rather, like, I'm not going to lie. I spent $28,000 traveling in an 18-month period.
There you go.
Just for jiu-jitsu, for my job, in quotes, job. It was fucking awesome. I loved it, man. I got to see Spain. I got to see Greece. I got to see Amsterdam. I went to Vegas, Orlando, Indianapolis, Chicago. Man, I'm an everywhere man. That's a Johnny Cash song, right? Yeah. So like it was, but I'm not making $150,000 a year building houses anymore. I'm not. I have to tighten the purse strings right now. Times are a little tough. The gym's doing good, but man, retail space is expensive. I don't know if you're in a retail. Are you in a retail space?
Sort of. It's mixed use. I have some other I have a logistics business next to me, an accountant, and then some weird pet business, and then downstairs there's another gym. Right? I don't. She's not gonna listen to this podcast. I want her fucking unit. Right? She's not the greatest, so I'm gonna take her fucking unit. But I have another gym down below, but it's kind of a mixed space. So like it's not like I got a good deal. Put it that way.
Yeah. See,
Right?
my Niagara Falls location, there's 22 martial arts gyms in Niagara Falls, population 100,000. Okay. 22 martial arts gyms. Okay. Niagara Falls would be okay if I wasn't paying $7,000 a month in rent because my rent started at $5,200, but they keep raising because the city and the region raised property taxes 10%. 10%. So imagine a building that pays 200 to 300,000 a year in property taxes. And now my TMI keeps going up. My TMI has gone up $2.85 a square foot. My rent is almost $7,000 now.
Yeah.
Then my Welland location, for the first time, TMI just went up. It made my rent go up $200 a month, but it's getting harder and harder to make money in martial arts because I have 300. At my peak, I think I had in February after the old March, I had the January, February rush. I think my peak was 396 students and I was pumped. I'm like, that's between Welland and Niagara Falls. I'm pumped. I'm making good money. But now revenue's down 7,000 a month.
Yeah, because you got to pay
the summer.
Yeah. And then also too, it affects people's spending habits, right? Because martial arts, some people value it.
It's
right?
a luxury.
This is the hard part about being in the business is some people value the skills and they look at it and this is a lifelong thing for my child or this is a lifelong thing for me. Some people view it as just a gym, and then some people view it as a luxury, right? There's I did a sales course when I first opened the gym. The average gym membership, including martial arts, if you lump it in, is 6 to 8 months, right?
Yeah.
So the idea that you just get to open and it's all going to be fun and games and you're going to have these people for eternity is a pipe dream. You got to constantly be working. Economies change, people spending habits change, people lose their jobs, people move, right? So you have to account for that. And if you're not
That's
accounting
why
for
I
that,
don't use the student model. I don't try to get Niagara College students. I don't care.
yeah, yeah, well, well, they don't have any fucking money, right?
Yeah.
Right, but you have to constantly be evolving your business and constantly be attracting new people and constantly be doing these things, and then to have the government and the media trying to tear those things down,
Yeah.
right? Because it didn't affect you. You didn't lose any students because of it, did you?
No.
No, right?
I
Because they didn't.
actually gained some students. I sent a internal email to all my students and parents and explained the story. And
Yeah.
every email that I got back was "fuck the CBC." The CBC sucks.
Right? Like
Because but here's the thing. At my front desk, I have a MAGA shirt. Niagara BJJ MAGA shirt. Make bars great again. Okay.
hilarious.
But all you see on the front is MAGA.
Yeah.
So when people come in, if that's not their jam, they won't sign up. And I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. Because if that shirt offends you, then you're probably not gonna like what I say when I get mad at the kids.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
But
probably not gonna like when I tell your kid he sucks.
but like we going back to it's so like we just explained, it's already hard to run a business because
Yeah.
you're looking at 7 to 8 every 6 to 8 months you experience turnover, and then you have to spend money to make money, and then you have they always say we're here to support small businesses, we're here to support small business, and then the government funded media goes out and publishes stories that hurt small businesses,
Yep.
and nobody's talking about that, right?
Yeah.
They're just like they purposely put a story out that affects hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of small businesses across Canada
Yeah.
because it's going to an impressionable person, and it might not be a bad person, they might not be a left winger, but an impressionable person who is thinking about getting into martial arts, who is thinking about enrolling their kids into martial arts, will somehow come across that story. They might just be Google Canadian martial arts, and Google will pump that out because
Yeah.
right. And now they're like, oh wait, maybe I'm going to put them in something else because martial arts is full of right wing extremists, and these guys are going to be there, and I don't want my kids to be surrounded, not necessarily by right wing people or right people, but I don't want my kids to be exposed to these extremist views.
Well,
Right?
the thing now is though, it's like you've got the Canadian hate group. I don't know what it's called. Some group is monitoring my Facebook posts, my Instagram posts, Rob's Facebook, Instagram posts. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they're monitoring that. So I can't even like satire. Even if I make a joke, I can't be me because I want to make a joke about my dick and balls turning black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like now I can't make that fucking joke anymore because now it's going to be perceived as racism, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's the problem is now I feel like I'm being watched. Now I feel uncomfortable. Now I gotta keep an eye on my students to make sure I'm not letting some redneck degenerate in the gym. You know what I mean? Even though I'm a redneck degenerate, I can't let more of my own people in the gym.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. And that what you said there too with the whole MAGA shirt and stuff too, right? That's one of like I'm actually in a very liberal area. Like the MP he's been in for like 3 decades, right?
Yeah.
This last election he won by a landslide, right? So you would,
Vomit.
yeah, I know, but you would assume that somebody like me planting his business here, he'd be unsuccessful, right? And I think it goes to show the polarization of politics and why it shouldn't have a place in martial arts at all, is because I'm very stuck in my ways. I'm very open. Me and my wife are Christian conservative. Now we don't necessarily align with every conservative policy,
No,
but
neither do I.
our values along that line in terms of how we live our life, right? I will never, ever, ever stray from those values. I will never, ever stray from them at all. and I make it known. I don't someone doesn't walk in and I'm like, hey man, I'm a fucking Christian conservative. You don't
Yeah,
like
motherfucker.
I don't do that. But
Deal
I
with
make
that shit.
yeah, deal with it. You don't like it, don't fucking sign up here. I don't do
Yeah,
that. I just I make it known that these are our values and this is what I represent, and you have your values and this is what you represent, and we're gonna
yep,
coexist and have a fun time.
yeah.
And
I really actually like that coexist sticker. Like if there's a bumper sticker, like man, I don't care if you're Muslim, I don't care if you're Jewish, I don't care if you're black, I don't care if you're white, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Do you add value to my gym? Are you good at jujitsu? Are you going to come in? Like we've kicked a few people out because they're a
yeah,
pain in the ass. Get out. You don't add value to my gym. You're a 260-pound dude slamming 17-year-old kids on their head
yeah,
multiple times. Get out.
get
You
out.
don't learn. You're a pervert and you make girls feel uncomfortable. Get out of my gym. We have
Yeah,
had a guy there. We had to kick him out of the gym because he made women feel uncomfortable. Right?
yeah.
You
And
know?
I'll bring this up because I don't like the slander fucking things, but fuck it. There's an association called the Lee Side Business Park Association, right? And at first I was like, you know what, let me join and become a member because maybe it's going to help us do better. I know a lot of different communities have those associations, right? Where my red flags went up, and this is coming back to the CBC and this whole agenda that everybody's doing, was they would have these meetings and I couldn't attend because the timing. I'm like, yo, I'm teaching class, I'm running my business, I can't really.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get someone to sub out and pay somebody to sub a class just so I can go sit and socialize and eat fucking ding dongs with you guys while you whine about why life is unfair and your business is right. Um, so they have all these special guest speakers that are supposed to be helping these businesses get better, right? So when I sign up for an association like this, I'm like, yo, bring in the marketing expert,
Yeah.
bring in the person who helps you deal with socioeconomic issues, like how do you service somebody without money and how do you service somebody with money, and how do you take those two different groups, bring them together to make your business successful in whatever field, right? It could be restaurants, could be whatever. How do you put a product out there to attract this person, how to attract this person, and build in that community. What it was it was all liberal guests. So the liberal MP, the liberal local MP,
Vomit.
Bonnie Crombie,
Oh,
right?
yeah. There's a
Right?
prize.
How in the fuck are those people gonna help me run a better business in this community?
Here's the thing I would ask. Have any of you run a business, a successful business? Have you? Because why are you in politics then?
Yeah,
Why are you in politics then? Oh, the only reason why business people who are successful in business go to politics is to make more money for their business.
yeah,
Man, Paul Martin, okay, his shipping company was dog shit until he became an MP and changed the rules,
yeah. Doug
right?
Ford.
Doug
Doug
Ford.
Ford.
I mean, I'm
He
not a
was
Doug
wealthy.
Ford fan.
He was
I
wealthy
don't.
before the label thing. He made the
Yeah,
fucking rule for the labels, and then they made a fortune off of them.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I can't complain. During COVID, my construction business made more money than ever.
yeah,
Because prices skyrocketed, and I was working 7 days a week during COVID because I didn't have to teach jujitsu. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
that's the thing. Like I lost so much money in construction by leaving at 3 o'clock every day and leaving my employees to their own devices for 2 hours till the end of the day. You know what I mean? Because I'd go teach. Like. But that's the sacrifice you made for trying to build something better, right? Trying to
yeah,
build. Now I've got 3 locations, and times are okay. They're not as good as they were 2 years ago, but
yeah. And then
hey,
you have these organizations, and then they're basically telling business, "Oh, come and listen to us. We're going to help you make it better," and they're not making shit better,
no,
right? And it comes down to the same thing. It's this propaganda that they're pushing. Like an organization like that should be thrilled to have me as a part of it because I'm not a service job or a service business where people are coming in and it's a single service.
yeah,
No, we're taking members of the community and bringing them together from all different areas. So instead of pushing a political agenda, you should be saying, "Hey, how can we even help you more? What kind of guests can we bring in here to speak to your business, to speak to you as
yeah,
a business owner, to even bring more people together?" so that there's not fucking hate going on, right? You can bring immigrants that are traditionally conservative and liberals from this side, bring them together into a place where we can have a great community. Nobody gives a fuck who's the MP because everybody's just living life and having fun. That's what martial arts is about. But what the CBC has done with this story is trying to rip it apart and tear us apart, right? And like, we've been going for like 90 minutes, so we'll wrap this shit up now. But
Yeah.
um, what is your biggest like kind of takeaway from this whole situation? Where do you hope to kind of like use this to help educate other people about what's going on and you know,
Honestly, like, man, it's just such a like the thing to me is like the CBC article just pissed me off because, man, okay, fine. A bunch of guys want to train just in case there's a race war. That's what they're thinking. Let them think that. So what? They're training, they're getting together, they're bonding as men. Like, you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
yes, maybe some of them are very racist. Maybe they are.
yeah,
Okay. But let them train. I'm not going to train them and take credit for training them. But if these guys quietly show up in a gym and just, like you said, we're a melting pot of society. We're a melting pot of society. These guys are they're in there. We just don't know it. And you're not going to vet people. You're not going to you don't ask too many personal questions of your students unless you're really close with them, unless you're
yeah,
friends with them. Right. But the majority of my students, there are some students, I don't even know their name, man. I have no idea who they are. I have 350 plus students at any given time. How am I supposed to know? And I have 3 locations. Some don't. I teach once in Welland, once in Niagara Falls, once in Dunnville for adult classes. How am I supposed to know everybody?
yeah,
You know? So the CBC, um, they should have done. They shouldn't have mentioned any business. What they didn't need to. They didn't need to make this story. You know what I mean? They could have just said, "Hey, these guys are infiltrating. Maybe gym owners. You know, we're not going to mention the names because we don't want to harm their business." But that's not what they did. They mentioned our names, harmed our businesses. You know, like mine's not too bad because, like I said, I didn't give them a full interview and then I didn't change my story. You know what I mean? I just kind of yelled at the reporter. Like after I got the bad review and I got like the hate messages, I screenshotted them to the reporter in a text. And I said, "Are you fucking happy? You fucked with my business. This is exactly what I knew was going to happen." You think I got a response?
no,
No, nothing.
no,
Nothing. Not, "Hey, we're really sorry, but this had to be done." That's what he tried to tell me. It's your right. It's your duty as a citizen to expose these people. No, it's not. It's my duty as a citizen to be left the fuck alone by the government, by the CBC, by the white supremacists, you know, by the
yeah,
left-wing lunatics. Just leave me alone. Get out of my life, you
right,
know?
yeah,
But yeah, like it's just the story is not I don't think it was well written. And maybe I should have got some PR training and talked to the CBC and been all professional. But people would literally be like, "That's not Kevin Mance. That's some fucking lawyer talking."
yeah,
Because I'm real. I'm not a polished. I've never been a polished. I was in the military, man. You think, like that's the thing that started to bother me when I climbed up the ranks of the military. They wanted you to be this PR guy. I'm like,
yeah.
"No, man. My job is to send young guys to their death." Like
Yeah,
that's
that's like when they ask professional athletes to answer questions reasonably,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
I just
My job is to play basketball, and you're asking me about like shut the fuck up. My job
yeah.
is to fight. Like, what do
Like
you?
asking an MMA fighter after they probably have a concussion, they're exhausted, and asking them to give like a tactful, pleasant interview. It's not going to happen. Okay,
Yeah,
I just got punched in the head for 5 rounds.
yeah. Any sport. You're a soccer player. Like, talk to me about fucking soccer. I
Yeah,
want it. Like, talk to
yeah,
me about that. Like when all those fucking guys were kneeling, and they're like, "Why are you kneeling?" Like, it's none of your fucking business. I'll kneel if
yeah,
I want to. Do I
yeah,
agree with you kneeling? No, but like, shut the fuck up. Talk to me about
yeah.
basketball.
It's like I don't ever want to sound like those hockey players who all have the same, what do you think? Well, we really came together in the third period as a team. And yeah, that's not me. Okay. Like I'm gonna give it to you black and white. I don't know the guys. If they're racist, they're scum. That's it. Don't be a racist. If you're a racist, you're scum. Like, stop it. Like, There's no need to hate. Do new Canadians have struggles coming to Canada? You're fucking right, they do. My parents came here in 1950s as children. I'm a son of immigrants, okay? There's struggles. It takes a generation to get new Canadians accustomed to Canadian society, right? Like the
Yeah.
whole pooping on the beach thing, okay?
Yeah.
Where they come from, that's normal. Hey, maybe the government of Canada should educate these people so they don't get hated on by regular Canadians. And it's not just white Canadians that are hating on new immigrants.
Well, it's Indian. I'm a brown guy. I'm fucking hating on them, right? I'm a brown guy. I'm fucking hating on my. We'll wrap this up here. I can say that. Fuck it, right? I'm a brown guy. I mean, okay. Here's funny shit. Okay, here's some funny shit.
Am I
Where
gonna get in trouble? Am I gonna get in trouble? Do I have to shut this off now or like?
no, hold on, fuck off.
All right.
Listen, okay, so where I live, right? They just built 2 condos right next to it, so I have like where I park my car. It's a joint parking now, so all I walk through the concierge, the other building, to get to my parking lot, and bro, it's all fucking Indians. It's all fucking Indians, right? Or you go to Tim Hortons and it's an Indian, right? Uh, so me and my wife, we took the kids to Coburg, right, to go to Coburg Beach on the weekend, right? So we go to Wendy's after. We're like, fuck, it's like an hour and a half drive back, and we need to eat some shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm getting
Yeah.
some spicy chicken shit. So we ordered $40 worth of Wendy's. We're sitting in the car. We're eating it, and my wife looks at me and she's like, "Yo, does this Wendy's taste a lot better, Ashton?" I'm like, "Yeah, because it's made by white people."
Oh my God. I'm not laughing at the joke. I'm laughing at the audacity of the joke. Okay. That's the other thing.
White people in Coburg take more time at Wendy's and get the spicy chicken right.
Okay. Listen.
Just saying.
I'm not going to comment on that. Okay. But I'll tell you, right? I always say, like, I don't laugh at racist for the racism in a joke. Okay.
Yeah.
I laugh at the audacity of the fact that someone came up with this joke. Okay. And I try to explain that to people like, no, you're just racist. I'm like, no, I think it's wild. Like, it blows my mind that someone could think of this racist joke. But
I'm just saying, after being in Toronto where everything's made by an Indian,
no, I don't believe you, man. I don't believe you.
Wendy's is better in Coburg. I'm just saying.
All the Wendy's here in Port Colborne are great, and there's Indian people that work there, and they're amazing. That's my statement, okay? So, but I will say, I did lash out at a poor brown guy the other day. He parked his Tesla in the driveway of the Shoppers Drug Mart, like beside a parking spot, like right on the arrow where it's like, arrow this way, arrow the other way. He parked his Tesla and people were like traffic jamming, trying to get around because Buddy has blocked the part of the entranceway into the thing. And I thought it was like maybe a little old lady. So I put a nice little note, and this guy came out of thing and he goes, "Oh, I think that's the lady behind me." So I'm waiting for her to explain this little old lady. And this poor brown guy came out, and I lashed out at him because I'm brainwashed by the media that these guys aren't properly getting their driver's licenses.
They're not.
I screamed at this guy. I'm like, "You're a fucking moron. You thought this was a fucking parking spot." Like, and honestly, now that I look back, it's not one of my proudest moments. But I'm a little stressed out lately, and this poor guy took the wrath. But I said to him, like, where the fuck did you get your driver's license that you think this is a parking spot? You're blocking the entrance.
Yeah, but no, fuck it. I'm gonna give you another one. Fuck it, I don't care.
No, dude, I don't want to be part of this.
Shut up. I'm gonna give you another one. So I'm driving, right? I'm trying to make a left, and the Indian guy with his Uber Eats motorcycle. I don't give a fuck. You're supposed to be behind me, right? I'm making a left, so he's trying to zoom in front of me to, like, you know how they like zoom in and out of traffic in fucking India. right?
Yeah.
And they don't obey.
Well,
I'm
they do that in the States too with motorcycles. Lane
on
splitting.
the right side though, not on the
Oh,
left, not in the
oh,
middle of the fucking road. He's going in the middle of the road. I'm going about to make a left, right? And I kind of go in front of him. I don't hit him, but I go in front of him. I wind down my window. And I said, "Hey, motherfucker, this isn't India. You have rules on the fucking road. Get behind me." And
oh.
yes, that was racist. But you want to know something, ladies and gentlemen? If I had hit him and he had gotten hurt, I would have hated the rest of my life. So
Yeah.
yeah, fuck it. I said something that wasn't nice, but something that needed to be said so that that person doesn't put another person at risk.
Yeah. I honestly though, I truly do feel bad for a lot of new Canadians because they're rushed in here. They're not told about Canadian customs and Canadian, because we had a fucking prime minister who said we don't have any traditions and identity here in Canada.
Yeah,
Right? But we do. We're a polite society. Okay. You don't push to get on the bus. You don't push to get on the subway. If a lady's standing as a man, you get up and you let that lady sit down. You know what I mean? It's funny because I fucked up in Paris. There was this Muslim lady standing and I touched her shoulder because I'm like a gentleman still. I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, you can have my seat. She's like, don't touch me. I'm like, oh,
yeah, you can't touch them.
yeah.
Can't
Well, like,
can't
yeah.
even shake their hand. Can't even shake their hand.
No, and like I had a Muslim guy come in the gym and bring his kids, and he said, "Look, I can my kids wear Sky Zone socks?" I said, "Yeah, fuck yeah." Well, can my kids not roll with women? I'm like, "Yeah, that's your culture. That's fine." And some people were actually mad at me for that, and I'm like, "Wait a second." I'm like, "Listen, it's against their culture to grapple with women or touch women. So why would I not respect that?" Um, you know, it's not going to affect the girls training at the gym. They have lots of training partners. You know what I mean? So, like, I think the government just really needs to do a better job educating new Canadians on the cultural norms. Like those people fishing with a net, catching salmon with a net.
You
That's
can't do it.
illegal.
Yeah. Well, here's what I say. And your parents immigrated here. My parents immigrated here. And I'll say this as a brown person, so that makes it better, right? Because it wasn't racist that I said that to a brown person on the road. Fuck it. I'm brown. It's brown. It's legal in Canada. It's fine, right? If you're the same race, you can say shit to your own person. Anyway, one of the things I admire my parents for is they came here from Guyana, South America, and I was born and raised in Canada by two immigrant parents who came from a underprivileged country, came here to get a better life, and that's what they did. Right? I'm extremely successful right now. I'm making money doing the thing I love to do. I can more than feed my family. I'm not struggling. When I want to, I get a steak. Right? I can
Yep.
afford it. Right? I'm
Yep.
not struggling by any means. Me and my wife are gonna go to Baltimore and watch two games this fucking year. Like I'm not
Sweet.
struggling. Like, that's gonna cost me a lot of fucking money. But
Yeah.
I'm not struggling. I for all the purposes, I've achieved. I wouldn't say yet. There's still so much I want to achieve. But I've achieved a Canadian immigrant's dream.
Yeah, man.
My
100%.
my parents came here. They struggled. They did things they didn't like to do. They worked on jobs that like my mom came home crying a lot from some of the abuse she took in the workplace. And mind you, she worked for the government.
Racism.
Yeah, she worked for the government. Just say, right. My dad wrongfully laid off by the bank, because he fell ill. He got sick, so they laid him off. Right. They went through all the struggles, but one of the things they did was when they came here, they didn't get rid of their Guyanese culture, right? But they adopted everything Canadian.
It's
We,
it's the cultural norms. Like I
yeah,
said, it's not, you don't have to adopt white culture,
no,
but Western civilization. How's that?
yeah.
Western
And
civilization.
my parents celebrated every holiday, even if they didn't celebrate it for the right reason, right? My
Yep.
parents are born Hindus, right? I'm a Christian. Now, they didn't celebrate Easter for the right reasons,
Yeah.
right? But we did Easter egg hunts. We did all those things that were part of Canadian culture. They made sure that we were integrated into the society well. And like my mom, you couldn't tell that she is Caribbean. Spoke clear English. She made sure, and it's only when the family events happen, you're like, oh, the patois comes out, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this. But for the most part, she was genuinely herself. My dad was genuinely herself, and they integrated into Canadian society. I'm so blessed that they did that, because if they didn't do that, I don't think I'd be where I was today, where I am today.
Yeah.
And what's happening now in Canada is they're coming here and saying you don't have to change, you don't have to adopt this, you don't
That's
have
the
to do
problem.
this, right? And guess what's going to happen in 10 years, 20 years? We're not going to have an identity anymore. We're not going to be like, you don't have to celebrate Christmas. You don't, right? If you're not a
Nope.
Christian and you don't, but
I'm
guess
I'm
what?
a I'm a Christian, but I don't celebrate
Yeah,
Christmas. I don't
I,
care about Christmas. Christmas to me, I like Thanksgiving, man.
yeah,
Like
but
Thanksgiving's my holiday.
my
Football.
favorite, my favorite is Christmas, right? Uh, well, football. I had two Ravens games the last two Christmases. A great Christmas, but my favorite is Christmas. You don't have to celebrate Christmas. You don't.
No.
If you don't believe in it or whatever, I don't care, right? But guess what? You get a fucking holiday for it.
Yeah.
The government pays you for it. It's part
Yeah.
of Canadian culture and North American culture. So if you don't like it, don't celebrate.
Yeah.
But if
And you
you
know what?
want to take it away from me, though, then you should give your money back. That paid vacation day that you're getting,
Yeah.
give it
So
back.
so I honestly, and this is the progressive side of me. I do consider myself very progressive some ways. But listen, if Muslims want to celebrate their holidays, that's fine. You work on the Canadian holidays and you get paid on your own holidays. If Jewish people want to work on Christian holidays and take their holidays off and get paid, that's only fair. I don't like religious holidays to begin with. I don't. I'm not a religious guy. I'm very um uh not I'm not an atheist. I'm just agnostic. I don't like I believe there's something out there, but I don't like organized religion. Organized religion bothers me because it's caused so much conflict over the world, right?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
Yeah. But like you should set like Canada Day. That's the day that every person that lives in this country should celebrate. This is the this is a country that less like 200 plus years ago was barren. Like there was we like immigrants came here, settlers. I'm going to call them settlers came here and
yeah,
settled this country and turned this into what used to be, and I'm saying used to be because it's not great anymore because it's the Canadian dream is over.
yeah,
It's hard to survive here. And a lot of immigrants are going home because it's hard to survive here. But you should celebrate on Canada Day that you live in a country that is pretty much free. We are free to do what we want.
yeah.
As much as I hate the current government, they're not watching my every move. Only the CBC and some hate groups are watching my every move. Yeah. But but yeah, like I feel like again, new Canadians just need to be aware that Canadians are going to get upset if you poop on the beach and you net fish and you dump trash and you don't respect our cultural norms. People are going to get upset, and I'm sure these group of guys, they've just taken it to the extreme, right?
Yeah,
They've
yeah,
taken it to the extreme.
and so how they feel, I feel like in some ways a lot of Canadians feel right now. The only difference is we don't hate you for it.
No, you
We're saying
sympathize.
we're saying, hey, we understand that you're coming from somewhere for a better life. That's what my parents did. That's what I. But if you're gonna come here, you have to respect the way we live, and then you're gonna have to integrate yourself to the way we live. It's
Yeah,
not your.
we don't have to change.
Yeah, we don't
You
have to.
have to change.
Yes, despite what the government is saying, I'm not changing. I'm not changing my way of life. I'm not changing the way I think. I'm not changing anything. You have to change. Just like if I went there, I have to change,
Yeah.
right? Me and my wife, it's come to the point where we've made the decision that at a certain point, when we get around late 40s, that Canada's not going to be our home anymore, right?
I'm working on that right now.
Right. So we've already made that decision, that this is not going to be my forever home, unfortunately, anymore, right? But I'm also aware of the fact that wherever I do end up, I'm going to have to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to adjust to that culture. The things that I'm doing here, I most likely won't be able to do or say ever the things I can say there. On the
Yeah.
internet, I might be fine. But I mean,
Maybe. Maybe.
but with people, I'm going to have to adjust and I'm going
Yeah.
to have to make those adjustments.
But
And then I think we're asking the normal Canadians, not the fucking crazy extremists, we're asking that you just take that same courtesy
yeah.
and adjust to our culture. It's going to take you time. You did things one way. It's going to take times to adjust to do things another way, but do it. And I think that these groups that are infiltrating martial arts, they don't speak for any
No.
of normal
No.
Canadians. We're saying integrate over time so that we can all live harmoniously, and it's the same country.
Yeah.
Um, they're saying get the fuck out. That's not what we're saying. We're saying come in at a reasonable rate. The rate is too high.
Cool.
Let's bring that rate down.
Yeah.
Right? Come in at a reasonable rate. But when you come here, let's integrate properly so that we can coexist properly.
Yeah.
Um, and we don't want to necessarily, I think there's value to all cultures coming in and doing great things. But we need to protect that culture. Like
Yeah.
you can't be killing our salmon and netting. Like you got to respect all those things. Like if you're gonna come here, you're gonna have to go through the same procedures and get the same jobs, pay the same taxes.
Yeah.
Everything is gonna be the same. You're not gonna get handouts. You're
Listen,
not.
Indian people are business owners. They are business owners, man. Like my buddy VJ here in town, he owns the gas station. He took this one little kiosk gas station, built a big Hasty Mart store. He worked there, man. That guy worked 7 days a week, 18 hours a day, and made his money and built that. That was the shittiest gas station in Welland. It's the best gas station in Welland now because
Yeah.
he built that. And that's the Canadian dream. That's what the majority of people want to come here and do. Build a life, a better life. Man, you look at Mexico now. The Mexicans are attacking white people because we're driving up the cost of their living.
Yeah.
And that's not a big news story,
No.
right? It's white people are training to beat up minorities. That's the story.
Yeah. All right. All right. We've been going for 2 hours, so let's wrap
Yeah.
this up. So I like to say because I'm not, even though I own a business, I'm not ignorant and I'm not an asshole. I like to help promote other businesses. So tell everybody who is listening how they can kind of train with you, what you guys offer, and how they can come and train with you guys.
Yeah, man. We got Niagara BJJ. We have 3 locations: Niagara Falls, Welland, our newest location in Dunnville. Very small, very awesome, very quaint. We do kickboxing, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. We have women's only programs, and we're just a bunch of chill dudes who like to train hard, drink beer.
All right.
If that's your jam, we're your guys.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me on, bro. Always
No
much respect. Hansy Manzy loves you, loves pinching your butt whenever I see you.
No homo, no homo.
No,
Well,
that's another thing we're gonna get in trouble for now.
I'm gonna get flagged for that shit. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
I don't do. I literally don't do this for likes. I do it because it's a fun thing to do.
I love it, man. I love coming on podcasts. And anytime anyone wants to talk about the housing crisis and building a house, I got fucking stories for you. So
All right, we'll do that again then. We'll do another
yeah,
one.
man.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Cheers.
Have a
Thanks,
great
man.
one.
You
Okay,
too.
bye.